Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Said Muhammad Diaul Haq. I will present my presentation about sampling and statistical significance. The first, what is sample? Sample is a group of people, object, or item that are taken from a larger population for measurement. The sample should be representative of the population to ensure that we can generalize the finding from the research sample to the population as well. The second, what is sampling? Sampling is a process used in statistical analysis in which a predetermined number of observations are taken from a larger population. The methodology used to sample from a larger population depends on the type of analysis being performed, but it may include the simple random sampling or systematic sampling. The third, simple random sample. Simple random sample is the most basic type of probability sample. Each unit in the population has an equal probability of inclusion in the sample. Like a form of probability sample, it requires a sampling frame, which provide a complete listing of all the units in a population. The next simple random example. At this slide, at this slide, this is simple random sample example. You can read on this slide the simple random sample example. And the next, stratified sampling. Stratified sampling is commonly used by social scientists because it can lend an extra ingredient of precision to a simple random or systematic sample. When selecting a stratified sample, the researcher divides the population into strata. The strata must be categorized of a criterion. For example, the population may be stratified according to the criterion of gender, in which case two strata, male and female, will be generated. Alternatively, the criterion may be department in the firm, resulting in possibly five strata: production, marketing, personnel, accounting, and research and development. Provided that the information is readily available, people are grouped into the strata. A simple random or systematic sample is then taken from the listing in each stratum. It is important for the stratifying criterion to be relevant to the issues in which the researcher is interested. It should not be undertaken for its own sake. The researcher may be interested in how the attitudes of non-manual employees is affected by the department to which they are attached in the firm. The advantage of stratified sampling is that it offers the possibility of greater accuracy by ensuring the groups that are created by stratifying criterion are represented in the same proportion as in the population. The next, multistage cluster sampling. A multi-stage cluster sampling is a probability sampling procedure that allows such geographically dispersed population to be adequately covered, while simultaneously saving interviewer time and travel costs. The next, Statistical significance. Statistical significance is the likelihood the that the difference in conversion rates between a given variation and the baseline at the baseline is not due to random chance. Statistical significance help quantify whether a result is like due to change or to some factor of interest. When a finding is significant, it simply means you can feel confident that is it real or not, that you just got lucky or unluckily in choosing the sample. The next, sampling problem. First, the researcher almost always work within time and resource constraints, so that decision about sample size must always recognize these boundaries. There is no point in working out an ideal sample size for a project if you have nowhere near the amount of resources required to bring it into effect. Second, the larger the sample, the greater the accuracy. Contrary to the expectation, the size of the sample relative to the size of the population, in other words, n, is rarely relevant to the issue of a sample's accuracy. This means that sampling error differences between the sample and the population which are due to sampling can be reduced by increasing sample size. However, after a certain level, increase in accuracy tend to tail off sample size increases, so that greater accuracy becomes economically unacceptable. Third, the problem of non-response should be borne in mind. Most sample surveys attack a certain amount of non-response. Thus, is likely that only some of the 200 non-manual employees we sample will agree to participate in the research. If it is our aim to ensure as far as possible that 200 employees are interviewed, and if we think that there may be a 20% rate of non-response, it may be advisable to select 215 250 individuals on the grounds that approximately 50 will be non-respondents. Finally, the researcher should bear in mind the kind of analysis he or she intends to undertake. Okay, friend, maybe only it my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.